Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you're here, you probably already know that flooring renovations can be an absolute headache. But I am totally thrilled you're tuning in today, because we are going to completely demystify this entire process. We're going to take a journey together, starting from the surface-level decisions of what materials you actually see and feel, all the way down to those hidden layers, and finally, into the sweaty, gritty reality of the installation process itself. If you've ever stood in a home improvement store completely paralyzed by all the choices, well, this explainer is built exactly for you.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to hit 4 main things today: decoding carpet fibers, checking out the hidden hero, your underpad, weighing DIY demo versus pro installation, and finally, getting to our final flooring verdict.
Starting off with Section 1, decoding carpet fibers, because obviously material matters.
So when you kick off a flooring project, the material really sets the tone, right? For years, deciding on a synthetic carpet was essentially a tug of war. You had nylon, your resilient, tough-as-nails workhorse for high traffic zones, battling it out with polyester, which is super budget-friendly and stain-resistant, but let's be honest, kind of crushes underfoot over time. But then, enter Triexta. This is the new kid on the block, engineered to basically give you the best of both worlds across cost, durability, and resisting those pesky stains.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the science behind Triexta. It's built on a core component called PTT, or polytrimethylene terephthalate. And unlike traditional polyester, which relies really heavily on harsh petroleum-derived plastics, Triexta is actually manufactured using 37% fermented corn glucose. Yes, corn. It's a fantastic eco-friendly alternative. Plus, at a molecular level, it's naturally hydrophobic, which is really just a fancy scientific way of saying it actively repels water and stains without needing any of those extra chemical sprays.
Of course, innovation like that comes at a price. Polyester generally runs about $40 to $60 per square meter fully installed, but Triexta, that jumps to somewhere between $70 and $120. I know, it's a real sticker shock, but here's why this actually matters. You have to think about long-term ROI. If a cheaper polyester carpet just mats down and looks exhausted in your busy living room after 5 years, you're literally just paying to replace it again. Triexta's bounce-back resilience often more than justifies dropping a bit more cash up front, especially for a highly active household.
Moving right along to Section 2, the hidden hero. We're talking about the carpet underpad.
We've covered the surface, but this unseen foundation underneath, that completely dictates how long your investment is actually going to last. Normally, standard quotes just throw in this low-density basic pad, but digging through crowdsourced advice from seasoned renovators online reveals a massive insider secret: the 10-pound underlay. One savvy user shared a brilliant negotiation tactic for this. They suggest bargaining super hard for the carpet price itself, and then, once you're locked in, you insist that they swap their default garbage pad for a 10-pound underlay. It's incredibly dense and completely transforms both the feel and the lifespan of your floor.
Because this hidden layer isn't just about feeling like you're walking on a fluffy cloud, although, hey, that's a pretty nice bonus. It's actually a structural necessity. Premium options like the EnviroStep line that uses 90% recycled urethane physically protect the carpet backing from grinding against your hard subfloor. Actually, fun fact, using a high-quality underpad is usually a strict, non-negotiable requirement just to keep your carpet's warranty valid. Pair the right pad with a good residential carpet, and it can comfortably last you 10 to 15 years.
All right, Section 3, DIY demo versus pro install. Let's get into the execution phase.
So you've got your fancy eco-fiber picked out and you've secured that dense underpad. But now I want you to ask yourself a serious question. Is DIY flooring actually worth the savings? I mean, it is so tempting, isn't it? You look at an estimate, see the crazy labor costs, and think, come on, I could just watch a YouTube tutorial and knock this out over the weekend. But wrestling with heavy materials in the real world is a totally different story. Seriously, take it from the people who literally build houses for a living. Listen to this quote we pulled from a professional contractor online. They said, "I'm a professional contractor, and carpet installation is on my short list of things I never do myself." I mean, wow. When an actual pro admits they gladly pay someone else to handle a job, that is a massive, flashing red flag telling the rest of us to step back and leave it to the specialists.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why even the pros tap out. Just think about the required tools. Sure, we've all got a utility knife lying around in a drawer, but a carpet kicker, a carpet stretcher, a carpet seam iron, unless you want your brand new floor looking lumpy and peeling away from the baseboards by next month, you absolutely need these.
By the time you track them all down, pay the rental fees, and spend 3 hours figuring out how to use a knee kicker without completely bruising your legs, you've pretty much wiped out any money you thought you were saving. And the stakes get even higher if you're dealing with hardwood. Another source from the renovation trenches highlighted the terrifying reality of trying to refinish old-growth wood floors yourself. They noted that an uncontrolled drum sander can gouge through a floor in literal seconds, adding that tackling 500 square feet of old fur as your first project is a genuine risk. You are dealing with irreplaceable 100-year-old wood here. If you pause a heavy drum sander for even a split second, you dig a trench into your floor that you can't just buff out. The learning curve is brutal, and one mistake could mean having to tear out and replace the entire historic floor.
Which brings us to Section 4, the final flooring verdict. So what does this all mean for your project? Well, the crucial point we've extracted from all these sources is this hybrid approach. It's literally the ultimate actionable life hack. Step 1. DIY the demolition. Tearing up old, gross carpet or prying loose cheap laminate takes zero special skills. All you need is a pry bar, heavy-duty trash bags, and some elbow grease. Then, Step 2. Hire a pro for the actual installation and refinishing. By taking care of the demo yourself, you can easily knock somewhere between $500 to $800 off your contractor's quote. It's a win-win. You get the satisfaction of sweat equity, you save a nice chunk of change, but you still guarantee a flawless professional finish.
It's all about working smarter, not just harder. So as we wrap up our journey today, I'll leave you with this to ponder before your next big home project. Will you invest your weekend in the sweat equity of demolition, or will you risk it all and try to DIY a 100-year-old floor yourself? The choice is totally yours, but hey, now you've got the blueprint to make the right one. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and happy renovating!